So with things well underway in terms of getting the aid into Gaza now, what are you seeing where you are and how are people doing?
I've spent the last 2 days driving around talking to families here in Gaza City, many of whom returned after the news that the ceasefire was in effect. And they've come back for the first time since that intense Israeli offensive here in August and September to find, more often than not, their home, their neighbourhood, deeply destroyed. People are picking through rubble, trying to figure out the best way to move forward. And the needs in that sense are immense, particularly for children. We see so many children here as we come into winter without the warm clothes that they need, walking over broken rubble without shoes. And everywhere we went today, people were asking us, please, do you just have any water, something to drink? Because the water systems have been completely destroyed. So the needs are immense, and we're here on the ground starting to scale up.
Of course, an ongoing challenge with aid into Gaza has not only been, of course, getting it in the volume that it's required, but also the distribution. What are the challenges on that front, and how is that being mitigated, if that's even possible?
We really need to see aid scale up to hundreds of trucks coming into the Gaza Strip every day, like we saw during the last ceasefire in February when we got 500-600 trucks in every single day. That's what we want. We're not there yet. We need all of the crossings into the Gaza Strip to open. We need those crossings to operate efficiently so that the trucks move through quickly. And then, as you say, we need the operating conditions on the ground to be able to move those trucks of aid to the people who so desperately need them. This has been a very difficult and dangerous operating environment for humanitarians. Fortunately, much of the danger is now at bay with the ceasefire, but there are challenges ahead of us, particularly just the enormous scale of the needs.
So in terms of trying to do the delivery, make sure that that aid is distributed, can you walk us through the process?
UNICEF prioritizes community and household level distributions, which means that we try and take the supplies that we have and get them to people in their places of refuge, primarily women and children. That means that we work with local implementing partners to take the aid, often directly from the crossing to our partners, and then work with them for those community and household level distributions. For example, winter clothes. We are distributing winter clothes in the Gaza Strip to children. We want to try and give every child under 10 a new set of winter clothing and a new pair of shoes. And we're doing that in shelters. We're doing that in community hubs to try and reach the most vulnerable children first, and then ultimately, hopefully, every child.
And you know, Tess, as you're speaking, we're of course looking at the images of trucks going through Gaza as they are, of course, trying to distribute that aid, which we've discussed is quite a challenge. And I know a lot of the focus there is on children, but I also want to ask you, since you have been there over the course of the past 2 years, what is this experience like for you? How has it evolved from when you first arrived in Gaza to now and what you're seeing today?
I think one of the biggest differences from when I first came in January 2024 is that a child's life is now impacted from multiple angles. An injured child might also be orphaned, might also have malnutrition. A displaced child might also have severe mental health needs. No, it's all complex now because of the intensity and the duration of the conflict. And that, of course, presents challenges for us in not only meeting those specific needs for a child, but multiple specific needs for 1 million children here in the Gaza Strip. But you know, we're not going anywhere. We have time, we have the team on the ground, and we're intent on scaling up. It is a really big job in front of us, and it's going to take months to meet people's kind of immediate needs, and then, of course, years to respond to the damage that has been done here.
And that's my final question for you, Tess. As you look ahead months and years into the rebuilding process and, of course, into the recovery process as well, what do you have in mind in terms of long-term stability in that region?
The first thing that comes to mind when you say long-term stability is education. When I talk to kids here, when I ask them what they're most looking forward to now that there's a ceasefire, they say school. every child I talk to wants to go back to school. They miss their friends, they miss being in a learning environment, and they miss their teachers. And so I think in terms of long-term stability, if we can get kids back into the classroom, get them learning again, and open up their opportunities for the future, particularly here to help rebuild their community, that's going to be key. And we know that we're going to need to integrate mental health support into the classrooms as children come back, both for the kids and for the teachers, to make sure that those classrooms can run smoothly and that the children can process absolutely horrific things that they've been through over the last 2 years.
Tess, I want to thank you for sharing your experience and your thoughts with us on this day. That is Tess Ingram. She is a spokesperson for UNICEF, and she joined us today from Gaza City. Thank you.
Thanks, Aarti.